Alright, first video. We're gonna start out here tying the Bonefish special today. We're gonna do it in a number 4 pink. So we're starting out with a Daiichi 2546 size 4. We got our pink 140 denier thread. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna thread on there. We're just gonna do 8 wraps touching back from the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Go 9, why not? Cut that off. We're gonna tie this one today using small lead eyes. These are hairline dubbing painted eyes in pink. We're just gonna go ahead and attach that right where we stopped off. The reason I only go 8 wraps back is just so I know each and every time I get the eyes on all my flies right in the same exact spot. Some flies I go a little less, I'll only do like 6 wraps. Some I'll go 10 wraps, just depending on the size of the fly. So we're gonna do some X wraps and some helicopter wraps. Just make sure we get those eyes in there fairly secure. If they're not super tight on there, don't worry about it. We're gonna put some glue on there in a little bit and make those eyes stay perfectly still. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna build a little tapered body on this fly. I like to cut the fly into thirds, third, third, third. So all we're gonna do to make this tapered body with those thirds is just wrap back to about a third and then wrap back forward. And then just repeat the process to 2/3 mark. And then again, wrap back forward. All this is doing is just making a real slight taper for the body of the fly when we tie in the materials for the body and the tail. So we'll go all the way back to the end here now. And come all the way back forward. So you see, a little slight taper, nothing crazy going on. Next material we're gonna get our pink crystal flash. This is gonna be our tail material. We're gonna probably pull in about like 10 strands of crystal flash here. We'll get the crystal flash. I might have got a few too many, but that'll work. All we want to do is just measure the crystal flash a little bit off the back. You should be able to get about 4 or 5 flies per strand of crystal flash. So don't worry about having the excess on the front there. To start it out, we're gonna just tie it down here tight. And we're gonna take all this extra, lift it up out of the way, and just cut it out. And save all those strands for the next fly. Just kind of take your crystal flash, pull back on it, and just tight wraps one right after the other, all the way to the back of the fly. Try to make the body as smooth as possible. That'll make the next step a little bit easier. Just come all the way back. Now to measure the sides of the tail, I just like to take my scissors for whatever size hook I have. I measure the size of the shank, just come back that distance and cut it off right there. That ensures me just about every time my tail is going to be the exact same. For the body of the fly, we're going to use this Saltwater Flashabou. Again, sticking with the pink color. We just need 1 strand. If you're tying this fly in a smaller size, if you're tying a size 6 or a size 8, about half a strand will make the body, but this one's size 4, so we'll need the whole strand. Then we'll go ahead, we'll tie this in right on the side of the fly, working our thread all the way back up to the eye. Let's jump right in front of the eyes there. We're going to take our Flashabou and just palmer it right around the hook shank, overlapping on each wrap. Make sure we cover the whole body. Try to keep it pretty tight. I mean, this stuff can unravel on you pretty easily if you don't keep it tight. Get it all the way to the eye here. You can see now, I mean, just a very slight taper to the body. We're gonna go ahead, figure eight it around the eyes, and then just tie it off here in the front. Now this is an optional step, but I like to do it on all of my flies. Take a little bit of Loon Flow on a brush. I just go ahead and I brush around the body, just adding a little bit of durability to the fly. If you're on a flat that has a lot of mangrove snapper, or little toothy critters that like to pick at your fly all the time, maybe it's got pufferfish or something on it, this fly or the Loon Flow will prevent them from being able to pick at the body and causing it to unravel on you. And if you're only catching bonefish, which is the goal, fly should last you an entire day of catching bonefish without you ever needing to change flies. And you see now the eyes are on there a little better. So the next material we're going to use is Congo hair. Again, sticking with pink. This is their shrimp pink color. You can get a very small section of Congo hair here. You don't need very much of this stuff at all. And just really a real thin portion. It should be much thinner than the body of your fly there. So we're going to take that, we're going to fold it in half, cut it, fold it in half a second time, cut that. Now we're going to take that piece and we're just going to kind of pick some of the fibers out, creating a little taper. Create a little taper on that side. Do it to this side, create a little taper. Kind of roll it in your fingers a little bit, that'll help. Once you got your taper created, go ahead, fold it in half again. Kind of line up both sides, and then just cut it in half again. Kind of pick the longs out on the tapered end. Go ahead, there'll be a few shorts in there as well. Pick those out. You got yourself a nice little taper piece here. So I'm going to take that and measure it on the hook here. I want it to be just slightly longer than the tail of the hook. Take the back end, just trim it square. Hold it on your hook. Give it 2 loose wraps. When you have your 2 loose wraps in, you can just kind of adjust it so I can see, all right, that should be enough to where I'm not overlapping the eye of the hook here, so I can make myself a nice clean tie. And then just come down straight forward with nice tight wraps. Next thing we got our pink Grizzly hackles. Just gonna get 2 hackles from here. Take the first hackle, kind of fold back some of the fibers that we won't need on it. Line it up with our wing. We're just gonna wrap from the eye of the hook and wrap back on the stem to the eyes. Nice tight wraps. Go ahead, you can trim the rest of that stem out of there. Take your other hackle. You're just gonna repeat and do the same thing on the other side here. You want to be about the same length as the wing. You make them a little shorter, a little longer. It's not gonna hurt anything. On this one, you're just coming all the way forward to the eye, pulling down a little tight, lifting the stem, cutting it away. If you have a little extra fiber sticking out here, it's not the end of the world. We'll take care of that afterwards. So the last material we're gonna add on here is gonna be these micro crusher legs. We're gonna get 2 of those. You can use just regular silly legs if you don't have the micro size. It'll just make your head a little bigger, but I really like these micro legs. So I get 2 legs, fold them in half on the thread, and we're just going to tie them right here, right on top of our head of the fly. And we're about 3/4 of the way back on our head. And we're going to take the legs and we're going to split them on each side of the hook shank, 2 going on each side. Kind of pull down a little bit so they fall down, and then just tie them right in. Now they'll just lay on either side of the hook. Now when I trim them, I mean, you could leave them really long if you wanted to. I like to trim them just longer than the wing on the fly. I feel bonefish flies have too long legs. Bonefish will just grab the legs and they won't grab the fly. So now they have that, we're just going to go ahead and whip finish. I use this time to kind of clean up the head a little bit if there's little areas that I need to build up, just to kind of give a more rounded shape to the head. You'll see there's going to be plenty of whips on this finish. You could leave the fly now just like that. It'll fish. Thread's probably not ever going to come unraveled. But I like to go one more step with the durability. Take my Loon Flow again and just go ahead and just brush it right on the head. I like using the brush more than the little squeeze applicator piece. I think it's a lot easier for me to control. I can get in little nooks and crannies much easier with the brush. So I just go ahead, I brush it on. Give it a second, let it soak down into those thread wraps, and go ahead and hit it with the light. At this point, if you have any of the little fibers sticking out here, you can take your light